Now, I'm going to take you to today's focus here on France 24. And a massive reform in China is designed to help thousands of people who have, until now, been stuck in rather a logistical nightmare. At the moment, people are issued with a Hukou. It's a residence permit which gives you access to services like health and education. Now, the problem, though, is that it is used where you're born. That is where it's issued from, or from where your parents are, meaning people who move away become stuck. Now, critics say it's discriminated, particularly poor migrant labourers kept at bay from local facilities when they move to seek work. Well, now, though, as Pierre-Philippe Berson and Shannon Van Sant explain, a new pilot scheme means that Houkous can be changed to different areas.
6 p.m., peak time in the Beijing subway. Thousands of workers are coming back home to Tongzhou, a residential district. 1 million people live in this area. Among them, 40% do not have a Beijing residence permit called a Hukou. Zhang Tuo is one of them. He has been living in Beijing for 7 years, but is still registered in his native province of Hebei, located 200 kilometers from here.
My wife got pregnant last year and she comes from the same province as me, so she doesn't have access to the public hospitals in Beijing. We had to go back to our native province of Hebei for each consultation. If we had a Beijing Hukou, we would not have those problems.
Thanks to the reform, he will be able to change his former residence permit to a new Beijing one.
I've just read that I can apply for a Beijing Hukou. I can get it thanks to a point system. To get it, you need to have a degree and earn a stable wage. We don't know the details yet, but I'm very interested, of course. I'll officially feel at home.
Tongzhou is a pilot area and has not been chosen randomly. The Chinese migrants who come from here are rather wealthy and educated. Middle-class migrants whose consumption is fostering domestic demand. It's a vital boost for China's growth. These people are pampered by authorities. By giving them a Hukou, Beijing is improving their living conditions and encouraging them to spend their money. In the outskirts of Tongzhou, on this field, will soon be built the very first Universal Studio Chinese amusement park. 2 million meters square of roundabouts and shops. But the testing zone, Tongzhou, is also seen as a stretch from reality.
This measure is a small step. Don't expect too much from it. It is targeting very few people. Migrants from Chinese big cities are not included in it. For them, Hukou is still a factor of inequality. For example, to have the right to study in a great Beijing university, migrant students must have better marks than Beijing students.
For a couple of days, construction in Tongzhou is stopped. Workers went back to their native villages for the Lunar New Year holiday. Those who remain here are going to leave pretty soon. They have no chance to get a Beijing Hukou. The liberalization is very selective and concerns only skilled migrants with stable households.
I've not seen my family for a year, and I miss them. I'll be back only for the new year. It's impossible for my wife and children to follow me to Beijing. I don't have a Beijing Hukou, so everything's too complicated. I can't even register them at school. My grandparents take care of him.
In Beijing, they don't have access to social help or medical care. There are 8 people living in this room without a window.
To rent an apartment in Tongzhou is impossible. It would cost 30,000 yuan a year. It's a lot of money in my hometown. For that price, I could almost build my own house.
They are coming back to their province to see their family. Some of them think they'll stay there and not come back to the capital that rejects them.
Shannon Van Sant bringing us that report from China.